As mental health professionals, we are witnessing some significant changes in the healthcare landscape that really deserve our attention. One of the most noticeable developments is the transition of CAQH and its increasing alignment with major insurance companies. While these changes are being presented as efforts to improve data sharing, credentialing efficiency, and provider directory, accuracy, they also highlight a broader trend that many providers have been observing for years. Insurance companies are just exerting greater and greater influence over the systems that govern healthcare delivery. For therapists, this means that we can no longer just decide if we want to pay attention and stay informed. Our CAQH profiles have become central to credentialing, reimbursement, network participation, and provider visibility. It is critical that clinicians regularly review and update their information, monitor payer communications, and remain attentive to any changes that could impact claims processing, reimbursements, or participation status. Even minor discrepancies in provider data can result in delayed payments, denied claims, or disruptions in patients' access to care. At the same time, many clinicians are concerned about the increasing degree of control insurance companies are exerting over healthcare decisions. What was once a primarily financial relationship has expanded into such areas as treatment authorizations, documentation requirements, provider credentialing standards, reimbursement structures, and utilization reviews. As insurers gain greater access to healthcare data and administrative infrastructure, should naturally start to be arising about how these changes are not only going to affect the providers, but the people that we serve. The impact is not just limited to providers. Consumers experience the consequences through narrower provider networks because a lot of providers don't want to go through that Byzantine labyrinth that is created. Longer wait times, increased administrative barriers, restrictions on treatment options, and interruptions in the continuity of care. When financial and operational considerations become so deeply entwined with clinical decision making, there's a risk that access to quality care is going to be impacted. While insurance plays a very important role in helping individuals be able to access healthcare services, it is equally important to ensure that clinical decisions remain grounded in the best interests of our clients rather than in administrative efficiencies alone. As professionals, our responsibility is to remain vigilant and informed and engaged and be very proactive in seeing the impact toward us. We have to advocate for very transparent systems that protect clinical autonomy and continue speaking on behalf of the clients we serve and the families that depend on us. We are seeing this in things like some insurance companies refusing to pay for a 60-minute therapy session. They want it in 30 or 45 minutes, and that's it. Or in insurance companies that only will allot X number of visits a year, regardless of whatever brings that person into therapy. Changes in credentialing and in healthcare administration may seem a little bit like back-end office issues, but they ultimately affect the quality, the accessibility, and the continuity of care. And I speak as somebody who owns a rural mental health practice and who feels the impacts of these decisions when we have insurance companies who refuse to cover treatment modalities because they're over the specified number of sessions, regardless of whether research has proven time and time again that that modality is effective. A good example is EMDR. EMDR, the recommended visit time should be 90 minutes, but most insurance providers will only allow it to be done in 60 minutes. And now, if they're taking away the 60 minutes, you're going to see it offered less, which impacts its effectiveness. Play therapy, we know, is very successful if we're doing non-directive approaches, needs to be about 35 sessions. Well, if they're only going to cover half of that's going to impact the clinical outcomes. By staying informed and by being very actively involved in your professional organizations, both national and statewide, we can help ensure that the future of healthcare remains focused on what it's supposed to, which is on the people that we serve.